60% plus as a share of GDP. And over the same time, the gross fixed capital formation, or in loose terms, investments as a share of GDP, fell, by almost equal percentage points until 2020. But in that long-term economic trend, now we are seeing some signs of reversal. The consumption
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street, starting from the benchmark index moves to sectoral action and all the stocks that are passing in trade today. We'll get you expert voices to help you understand which way are the markets headed and what should be your investing strategy now. First up, a quick check on how the markets are doing. Half odd percent of gains coming in. Nifty at 19,496 right now, almost 100 point up. The Sensex up by 336 points, 65,791 currently for the markets. So the momentum continues very strong. The bulls look like they are here to stay and they are owning the stage completely. The last but one session of the week, and we are looking at a very strong weekly expiry as well. The kind of move that you're looking at the broader markets is even stronger, almost 1% up for the mid-cap 100 index. That's up by 326 points at 36,354. The small-cap 100 index is up by 85 points as well. In terms of the sectors, most of the Nifty sectors are up in the green, of course led by the gains which are being seen on the auto pack now. It's over 1% in trade. Here, realty, of course, is the top gainer, has been the front runner in today's trade. But look at the Nifty Auto. You've seen the last half an hour to 1.5 hours of move come in on this pack. The realty index is up by 2.5%. So that's the kind of move that you've seen from about 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's at the day's high point. The Nifty Bank is very strong. We look at the stocks that are doing well in that basket too. But apart from the realty pack, we are also looking at the oil and gas space. That's up by almost 2%. Looks like they are back in the sweet spot. You're looking at gains from the pharma pack, from the metals pack, both half odd percent gains. PSU banks up by similar momentum as well. The healthcare stocks are up by over 1% in today's trade. So barring some losses, you're seeing FMCG absolutely flat with a negative bias, financial services flat with a negative bias, IT stocks down 0.2%. Barring these three indices, rest of the sectors are all up in the green. Let's look at the stocks as well that are in focus right now. M&M, top gainer, 5% uptick for this one. 1547 coming in. Apollo Hospitals up 4%. Power Grid, Tata Motors, Reliance Industries. Finally, you're seeing some strong move coming in from the heavyweight counters. That's pulling the index higher. On the downside, Eicher Motors 3 days in a row, declining trend coming in, 2.6% down. HDFC Life, Maruti, HCL Technologies, Bajaj Finance, the other laggards right now. Time to welcome our guest on the show. Vineet Pullinchkar joins in. He's the head of research for Ventura Securities. Vineet, good afternoon and thank you so much for taking the time out. Where the market momentum seems to be very strong. How are you looking at the trading setup? Looks like the bulls are not getting tired anymore.
No, I think the bull market is going to continue. I think it will continue right up till until we burst firecrackers in Diwali, because the rainfalls have been very good. Corporate announcements are good, and we see the FI flows continue. So I think we will, and our valuations are absolutely benign. Benign. We are just a little shade above 18 times next year's earnings for December. So I think a very good time to pick and choose stocks in this market.
Okay. Which other sectors are you getting bullish on? I mean, we are seeing the realty, the auto space stocks, the rate sensitives really cheer the kind of moves that we are seeing. Of course, the monsoons are spreading cheer there as well. Your thoughts on how should one really be approaching the move in the realty space and the auto pack?
So I think the autos continue to remain bullish. Uh, and realty, we have seen some record coming in terms of retail buying of properties. So I think the trend is firm. I'm not seeing too much of an increment in the mortgage rates, as of now. There is status quo. Inflation is also well in control. And I believe that, just about 25 bips is what the government might, RBI might do to increase the prices once the busy season kicks in. But that is all factored into expectations. And I believe that from here, Realty will do well along with autos. And our top pick in autos continues to be Maruti and Tata Motors. We like Eicher Motors. I know Eicher Motors has underperformed severely after, hitting highs of 3,700s down to sub 3,300 levels. But we believe that from here the stock should rebound very well.
Okay. Apart from the realty and the auto pack, I wanted to discuss the oil and gas space. Most of these stocks have hit their 52-week high levels, the OMCs especially. Your thoughts on how should one be approaching the oil and gas space and both upstream and downstream companies now?
So, if you look at the geopolitical situation, what has happened is that, China has completely stopped exports to Russia of all kinds of materials. That is a deal which they cut with the US. So, there is two power axes created. One is the America-China axis, and the other one is the India-Russia axis. And with Russia and Saudi Arabia cutting down on production, Europe is going to struggle with getting oil at, energy at reasonable prices. So obviously they'll have to rely on India, which is the net importer from Russia. And this bodes very well for refining margins. ATF fuels, we are supplying 50% of 50% of our supplies are being sent to Europe, and there we get very good rates. So I believe that the oil marketing companies, the refining companies will continue to do well.
Okay, understood that as well. Let's focus on some of the stocks that are buzzing in trade. We're looking at a DCB Bank, for example, Vineet. That stock is up by almost 8% today. Of course, there's news flow coming in that's pulling the stock higher. It has slipped from the day's high point, but still about 5.6% up in trade. Anything that you'd like to suggest on this stock?
See, it's not one of my our top picks in this sector. What is happening is that there is rotational buying happening in all the banking stocks,
Okay.
and we continue to be thematically bullish, very bullish on the PSU banking space. The reason being that their return on equities are very strong, their efficiencies are kicking in, and while the private banks have very limited upside in terms of bettering their metrics in terms of ROA, the PSU banks have a long way to go there. So you have
Okay.
valuations which are one-fourth of their historical trends. You have earnings galloping at about 25% CAGR on the back of a 13 to 15% growth in expenses. And so we believe that SBI, Bank of Baroda, Bank of Maharashtra, and Indian Bank offer very, very exciting opportunities for investment. And especially in a market which has run up so much, I believe that these are low risk, high reward uh, opportunities, and you need to, however, play them with a little bit of patience out here, because the equities of all these banks are very large, and it
Okay.
takes time for these stocks to move.
Okay. Since we've spoken about the realty pack, we've also spoken about the lenders, the PSU banks that you have discussed. Let's also discuss about the housing finance stocks. Most of these stocks, in fact, have also been in a sweet run in the last 1 year. 150% kind of a return for most of them. Talk about stocks like Repco Home Finance, a 1 year price return is 160% for this one. Let's talk about PNB Housing Finance, that's again over 100% return in the last 1 year. We've seen Housing and Urban Development Corporation, which has run up 70% in the last 1 year. India Bulls Housing Finance is up by 42% as well. HDFC, we of course know of the recent run, we have seen about a 27% over a 1 year period of kind of a return. So these 5, 6 stocks from the housing finance basket, does anything interest you here?
I think we like PNB housing a lot.
Okay.
We believe that the negatives of the baggages of the NPAs are through. They just recently did a rights issue, which gives them growth capital to be played out over the next 3 years. And what the interesting thing that they're doing is they're running down their corporate book because they had a very high uh, NPA effect that they had taken. But what we are seeing is, we are expecting them to resolve almost 890 odd crores of NPAs within this calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, at best or pessimistically, what can happen is that, it could get played out over the next year, but that is definitely coming through. And with the NPAs, kind of coming back to the levels of what the other peers are getting,
Hmm.
we think that this stock, at zero point 0.8 times book over the next 3 years with a 17% CAGR in AUM offers a very delectable opportunity to play the housing mortgage space.
Okay. In the whole of the market right now, which is at record levels, what is the strategy that you're own adopting also for your own self, for your clients also? Are you suggesting some profits to be taken off the table? Is that a temptation? Or do you believe that, this is still the time that one can continue to build on strong positions and perhaps buy on dips on those stocks which have still not moved?
If you go to see, since 2019, we were in a very rough patch, right? Through even COVID and all. And while we have seen, speculative liquidity run come in, I think that, we are just surpassing that peak in terms of sales for 2019, and we are only coming into our own right now. So I think there is a lot of money to be made, and we are just starting out. I believe that we will see some fancy growth coming in over the next 3 to 4 years. uh, there are a lot of noises in the market that growth is going to slow down, and rainfalls might not be good, but just look at it. you know Media was reporting 30% deficit in rains, and we've
Hmm.
had some very stellar rains coming. So I believe that the India story is very strong, it's very structural, and it is going to play out not over 1, 2, 3 years, but I'm seeing a good 5 to 7 years kind of a bull market, and we've only just started. So we are not advising clients to book profits. We are
Okay.
saying stay invested, buy good quality stocks. Uh, do your analysis of 2, 3 years earnings. Okay, see where the highest growth is. Do a risk reward analysis in terms of P valuations out there, and
Mm-hmm.
then buy into them. So we have a low risk, high growth kind of stocks. So you build in your margin of safety
Hmm.
and buy high growth stock. There are multiple stories out there in the market. It's a stock picker's delight. You cannot have a better investment environment in my mind.
Okay, you can't have a better investment market to Vineet's mind at this point. But any particular stocks that have suddenly struck you where you are turning bullish on, where you would like to advise all our viewers also to take a pick now?
So, we had recently initiated coverage on Lloyd's Metals.
Okay.
We have a target of 1,000 plus for that stock in the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the stock is currently trading at 440, 450 rupees. So, you have although the stock in the last week has gone up almost 30 plus percent, but we believe that, you still have a 100% plus out here. We
Okay.
believe my Bank of Maharashtra can give you another 100%. We
Okay.
believe that SBI can give you an 80% upside over the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've given you three very high growth, high conviction targets for us, where the downside risk is very limited.
Okay, downside risk very limited, but upside definitely very strong potential. So the markets are at an all-time high, but you still have a lot of opportunities to buy quality and sound fundamental names in your portfolios even now, and for an upside potential of even 80-100%, like Vineet just pointed out. Many thanks, Vineet, for being with us on this show and discussing so many insights for all our viewers. That is always appreciated. Always great having you with us on Business Today TV. So another day of record highs being seen on the markets. You're looking at 19,500 on the Nifty, 100 points higher, 65,800 almost on the Sensex as well. So looks like the bulls are here to stay and the market momentum is continuing as well. So ensure that your portfolios shine as well by selecting the perfect stocks for your portfolio, by listening to experts on our channel and also speaking to your own financial advisors before taking your investment decisions. Until then, many thanks for tuning in for now.
Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. You're watching Easynomics. I'm Siddharth Zarabi and my guest on the show today, Vivek Johri, the chairman of the CBIC. As the